Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoroot.com with the Sunday update. I want to talk a little bit about politics. I don't talk that much about politics anymore. It's behind the scenes. I know the good guys are winning. It doesn't matter who's in office. It'll be interesting though. I think if we do have a banking collapse, when we do have a banking collapse, it'll be interesting to see if Elizabeth Warren jumps out ahead because she's claimed to be the cure for the banking collapse, which is ridiculous, of course. Socialism has never worked, ever, ever, ever. She has good ideas for the bankers, but that's about it with the wrong solution going forward. So, very scary. Anyway, she's starting to jump ahead in some of the polls. I can't believe Biden's still up there, still running. They must not have had any interviews with him lately. He's probably the biggest pedo in all of Washington, D.C., and it's shocking that these people are still walking around, but hey, what do you do? Really interesting stuff coming up on Saturday Night Live. Comedians have a way of bringing the real important stuff up to the forefront, and they did a skit on Elizabeth Warren. And it was funny, talking about where she's going to get the spending money. But then at the end, she said something that absolutely rings true to anybody on the road to Ruta level who's studied Catherine Austin Fitz's work, saying the government's printing trillions and not telling people about it. I believe it's quadrillions. I believe there's no reason to account for any money anymore. The faith and confidence is long gone, and now we're just down to market rigging. But listen to what she said. This is a classic.
Morning. And third, okay, banks. I'm gonna tax the banks. Duh. What did she think I was going to do? Hold up a gas station? Come on. They're going to pay for it, and not one penny from the middle class. And all we got to do is convince J.P. Morgan to operate like a nonprofit. Okay, next question. What do you got?
Hi, sorry, I have a follow-up because I'm annoying. You said your plan would cost $20.5 trillion, but other economists have said it could cost $34 trillion.
Right, okay, let me stop you right there. And we're talking trillions. When the numbers are this big, they're just pretend. there ain't no Scrooge McDuck vault. You ready to get red-pilled? Money doesn't exist. It's just a promise from a computer. You might as well say it costs 13 nonjillion over 12 a d10. Same difference. All right, next. Hey,
So freaking true. It's so true. The faith and confidence in money is ridiculous. People say to me about the repos, they're like, oh my God, the banks are bailing themselves out. The reality is they didn't have to tell you any of that stuff, and they don't tell you the majority. It's all a game, 100% a game. Yes, the Fed is going to take out the banks and destroy the old system. It was written in the Federal Reserve comic books. It was always the plan. Yes, they are creating quadrillions behind the scenes that they don't tell you about. And they could have done the same with all the repos, but they choose not to this time. So important. If you want more information on the hidden money, just to scratch the surface, get the Solari report. This is part 2. There was 2 parts. The real game of missing money walks you through how they do it. It's so obvious. Oh my God. It is so obvious, and Catherine Austin Fitz and her team prove it using the government documentation. So, it's kind of like Ted Butler proving silver manipulation through the government's own document. But it's just scratching the surface. There is no limit to the amount of money you can create with a computer. The difference between $100 billion and $1 trillion is a little zero on a computer clicked one time. That's how insane the system is. So when we look at the Fed repos, and you're like, oh, this is cool. We can see the banks are imploding. We can see they're in trouble. Absolutely, they are in trouble. But why is it being shown that they're in trouble is the bigger question. What is it they're trying to show the world? They're trying to show the world that the game is over. And it will go into hyper exponential growth mode, I think, in the next 2 weeks, as I've talked about on the road to Ruta. Keep an eye on the intraday repos. Intraday. Meaning not even overnight money. We're meaning, I mean money for a matter of hours. That's how insane the system. That's how much money they need and to keep the system together. It's like putting a scotch tape, a little piece of scotch tape on the space shuttle and hoping it stays together. But the plan is not to keep the system together. The plan is to destroy the old system, get rid of all the debt in the world, and start fresh. That was always the plan. And we just have to live through the end game now. So I will keep you up to date. Should be a big week next week for the repos, for the reverse repos, for the term repos, for the treasury purchases. And then the new one is going to be the intraday repos. I don't know how I'm going to keep track of that. That's going to be a tough one. I don't know how they're going to report it, but they have to report it. So we'll see what goes on there. Most likely they'll say, okay, here's a pool of $50 billion that they can use. So I will count that as $50 billion of overnight pool money. Added to the current total of repos that were needed for this weekend, the total bailout needed for this weekend for the banks to stay afloat. These are the banks that are reporting huge profits. The total amount right now for them to stay afloat is $293 billion. That's how much had to be outstanding in loans last night from the Fed to the banks. And that's a total of the overnights, the terms, the flat out purchases, everything. And that's going to increase significantly when they announce the intraday repo. It's probably going to be an intraday repo pool, which is all fraud. I mean, the whole thing's a fraud. And it's sad and pathetic. One more thing. People have been sending me emails on people are getting conned again. Absolutely conned again in the cryptos. People send me emails. I've been talking to you on Twitter, and you said to send you 3 Bitcoin of mine, and you'd send me 10. Come on, people, wake up. I would never say anything like that. I mean, hopefully these people are trolls that are telling me, because you got to take responsibility for your own cryptos. Never send any cryptos to anybody who you don't know why you're doing it, or they promise you more. Give us 10 cryptos. Give us 10 Ethereum. We're going to give you 100. People, maybe it's for the best that you stay out of cryptos. If you're going to fall for stuff like that, maybe it's the best to stay out. If anybody asks for your private address, really? It's best to stay out. Just keep an eye out. There's frauds everywhere. When the cryptos move up, you get all your BitConnects come out, and all your crazy Satoshi Nakamoto's come out, and all that crap starts again. There's a reason cryptos were invented for the people. It's so that we can have them without regulators. You fall for this shit, it's going to bring the regulators in. We don't want regulators. You need to learn, so maybe it's a good thing that you're getting all your crypto stolen, because you're learning a very valuable lesson. You have to take care of your own monetary sovereignty. It's up to you. Don't believe in any other people. You, only you. And watch Road Ruta. Anyway, crazy stuff going on all over the place. It'll get crazier as the cryptos move up. I expect a lot of frauds and scams and deep state stuff coming out. There's deep state all over the cryptos. Where do you think Bitfinex it came from? Binance and Tether and Block One, all that stuff is deep state. So be very careful of that. And it's very scary. I guess same with BitConnect. 100% deep state. It wasn't some guy who just got away with it. The reason they get away with this shit is that they're deep state. They're involved with our controllers. But they'll be taken out soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Should be an exciting November. November to remember. Anyway, I will be updating tomorrow morning. You guys take care. And don't forget, like and give me a thumbs up. The picture here at the top of Road to Ruta, see, give me 2 thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. I hear it's important for YouTube. And we are putting together all kinds of footage for the private road members of the event. And we'll get it out to Patreon as well at some point. But great footage, great time, great people. The World Crypto Conference is now done, so I'm getting a lot of people saying, oh my God, I stayed there the whole time. I'm like, how did your liver survive a whole week in Vegas? I don't know. My 4 days was plenty. All right, you guys, you take it easy. Have a good one.
Grew up in the USA, I was taught that speech was free. Birmingham to Burning Man, you can speak any truth you see. Lately things have changed, they say I can't speak truth no more. And I'm just sitting here wondering who they are working for. See, they're gonna kick me off of YouTube. Unless I say 9/11's just another day. And they delete my friends on Facebook. Unless I pretend that socialism's a-okay. And they are gonna shadow ban my Twitter. Unless I tweet the chemtrails of Perrier. Finally they'll ban everything I've got to say as they kill free speech in the USA. They decide what's right, they decide what's wrong, they ban what won't conform. They sit in shadows, they run the gallows, say I must abide the norm. Without free speech we lose freedom, they cut off our free will. If I find truth that they don't like, they'll label me a shill. And then they're gonna kick me off of YouTube. Unless I say 9/11's just another day. And they delete my friends on Facebook. Unless I pretend that socialism's a-okay. And they are gonna shadow ban my Twitter. Unless I tweet the chemtrails of Perrier. Finally they'll ban everything I've got to say as they kill free speech in the USA. They're trying to kill free speech in the USA. Now wait a minute, it's not like me to give up on a fight. I'll expose their evil plans, bring their shadows into light. And I'll name names, I'll play their games, I've got them in my sight. They're trying to change the USA, I'll fight for what is right. So they can kick me off of YouTube. 9/11's all about building 7 and it ain't okay. And they can delete all my Facebook. But socialists fail every time in every single way. And they can shadow ban my Twitter. But I'm looking up at chemtrail skies each and every day. See, they have no right to ban anything I have to say. And I'll fight for free speech in the USA. I'm gonna fight for free speech in the USA. It's my right, free speech in the USA.